Welcome to a brand new edition of City Talk, where once again, we ask the musical question, what on earth do these people do all day? And I mean by these people, I mean the people who work for the city of Pittsburgh. Say hello to a sign painter, and a damn good one. Greg Haduch joins us from his living room. Greg, welcome to the program.
Hello, everyone.
So when you were, 5 years old and everybody else wanted to be a fireman or a policeman or a baseball player, did you say, I want to be a sign painter when I grow up?
Well, always had that knack of drawing at a young age, as a matter of fact. But yeah, of course, I had those dreams of being a firefighter or a police officer. Everybody wants to be the hero.
Isn't that the truth?
But I guess heroes come in all different shapes and sizes and forms and all that.
Yeah, and I guess we can't all be heroes because there would be nobody left to save. So
that's truth, huh?
But oddly enough, even though your title is sign painter, there's very little, if any, painting involved in your work.
Yeah, that's correct. In fact, we don't use any paint at all on the actual signs. We use ink.
So you guys have got computers. You're designing all of these signs. What kinds of signs? Stop signs, yield signs? I mean, probably any kind of sign you can think of.
That's it. All traffic signs, parking signs, signs for parks and trails. We even designed the banners for the parades. There's been times my coworker, in fact, he designed the banners, I think, when the Pittsburgh Penguins won the Stanley Cup a few years back. So we have plenty of opportunities,
How much room is there for creativity, and how much do you kind of have to stick to the script? I mean, you can't have a multicolored stop sign, obviously.
That's true. That would be fun, though, wouldn't it? You got to stick to the safety guidelines. In fact, it's our responsibility to make everything required, because the city could get sued. If somebody runs a stop sign, it's not the right size, or it's a little off, or if we misspell it, which that rarely happens.
But occasionally that has happened.
No. Well, there has been, certain occasions. I can't really come up with an example right now, but maybe there was a no outlet where there should have been something else, and I didn't see that, or it was behind a tree, or there's always something. But we have a lot of room for creativity. City facilities all over the place, they want something personalized. A city county building, there'll be a new mayor coming in, so all the doors will have to be renamed and redesigned. I'm sure there'll be other departments that might need symbols, logo designs. We get asked to do that periodically.
So you don't really have a slow season, I'm guessing. The demand for signs never stops.
Never stops. We actually make about, between me and one other coworker, we make 6,000 signs roughly a year. So yeah. Always something to do. There's days where you can bang out, 250 signs in one day, using our screen printer. And that never stops. And especially during emergencies, you've heard about all the landslides. Right then and there, we need to bang out, road closed and detours and all that.
Any signs that say like rocks might fall on your head, or?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But we actually have those pre-made, and those signs do exist. Maybe not in that, verbiage, but
form. Right. So tell us something about yourself. Where are you from originally?
Born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Carrick area, the South Hills slopes. Most of my family's over that way, that side of the river. Right now, I live in the north side of Pittsburgh, but I never ventured away. All family here. I just wanted to stick around. Love the sports teams, especially hockey. That's my main sport.
And you grew up in the Carrick area. Now you live on the north side, and you're married and you have a new infant.
That's it. Yeah, she is baby Grace McCall. She is she'll be 8 weeks on Wednesday. We'll go for a 2-month appointment on next Monday. Everything is just going great. She's amazing, and daddy life is a little bit easier than I thought it would be. Maybe it's that I over prepared or something, because I was never around babies growing up, and it's just everything's coming naturally. I mean, Her mom's doing probably 90% of the work on maternity leave, but and then she's walking me through certain things. But I love it, honestly. I love it, and I love all the duties and chores it comes with.
Speaking of duty, how are you at changing the diapers?
I'm a master already.
You
I
could
haven't
teach
had one bad
class.
incident yet, but I'm sure there'll be some more surprises along the way.
Wow. So how have you guys been coping with COVID all this time?
Nothing's changed for us. I know some friends of friends who've had misfortunes. We just follow all the protocols and safety guidelines and try to live our life the best we can.
But you haven't been working from home that much, right? Because you kind of have to be in the office because that's where the computers are and the materials for the signs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We haven't stopped at all. Even during lockdown, we had crews go in, a 2-man crew every other day. Somebody had to be there, if there's a stop sign down, somebody has to pick it up. And because we had uneven crews, I was asked to go work as an SPM, with sign and paint maintenance worker. So I would go install signs, tear signs down, repair them, whatever they need, just to even out the crews. Which I was
Right.
honored, because I love learning every aspect of the job.
And speaking of Pittsburgh neighborhoods, you work out of the Strip District. That must be a fun neighborhood to work out of.
Yeah, there's no traffic down there at all. No, it's nice. It's booming down there right now. You want to go take a walk at lunchtime. There's always somewhere to go. A lot of great places to eat.
Absolutely. So what did you go to school for? Was that design?
So yeah, I always had an knack for drawing, an interest when I was a young kid. And I can remember in kindergarten, other kids, years older than me, they're like, "Did you really draw this?" Because I was drawing, in perspective and everything at a really young age. So I grew up, my parents kind of, I guess they realized I had some kind of a talent. So they sent me to Rogers Kappa, which is a middle school for creative and performing arts. And I also went to Pittsburgh Creative and Performing Arts High School. And from there, I kind of like graphic design, and just kind of pushed forward, went to Pittsburgh Technical Institute for 2 years. I figured associate's degree, that was enough. Got my feet wet and just get out there in the field.
Were you at the private sector for a little while?
Yeah, I wasn't always with the city. I actually did a lot more at the sign company for about 5 years, and kind of what I'm doing right now.
But it's like to me, you prefer the city to the private sector, at least to that job.
I do. It's a nice, stable job, especially with family. I'm in a union here, and you can't ask for much more than protection.
Yeah, I'm not. So congratulations on that. But we all have to live our lives wherever the chips fall. So would you recommend a career in government service?
I'm sure, absolutely.
So it sounds like to me actually kind of feel a kinship to the taxpayers, like you want to serve them well.
Yeah.
I started to say, do you have any hobbies? But it sounds like hockey is an obsession, and then you have a new child. So and with your job, I assume that's all you have time for.
Yeah, well, her mom plays too. So when she's playing, I'm watching the baby, and vice versa.
Oh, who's the better hockey player, you or the mom?
Oh, she's the better hockey player.
Good answer. But you don't play against one another.
We have in the co-ed sports, yeah. Actually, kind of how we met.
So do you have any final thoughts and words of wisdom for the humans in the city of Pittsburgh who watch the city channel or check out the city's YouTube channel?
I keep watching and enjoy it, and this is a great place to get to know the employees. I know a lot of workers get a lot of bad rap, but there's a lot of people who really care about the community, and they want to keep cleaning it, fixing it, and working for the taxpayers.
And finally, I'm assuming that there's been some sort of joke since you're Greg Haduch, tonight, honey, I've got a haddock. Somebody had to make that lame joke over the years, or maybe not. Forget I said. But
I've heard them all. But the lady at my dentist right now, she's always says, I've had it with you. just a joke, sure.
all right, Greg, thank you so much for your time. We sure appreciate you doing City Talk. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
And when we come back, we'll meet somebody from the print shop. Stay with us on City Talk. Welcome back to City Talk. Here is another gentleman whose job involves design, among other things. Say hello to, live from the print shop, Andy Scott. Andy, welcome to City Talk.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Are you in fact live from the print shop, or did I get that wrong? Are you at home?
No, I'm live from the print shop 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
And you've had this job for a few months, correct?
Yeah, it's probably been about a month, almost a month and a half now.
Okay, so just give people an idea of what you print, everything from traffic signs to really thick budget books, which you also have to bind and individually print. What other kinds of things?
Yeah, so we do all the business cards for all city employees, whether it be police, firefighters, code inspectors, you name it, we do it. Letterheads for, different council members or the mayor's office. As well as a lot of the benefit packets that we send out to different employees of the city.
And in addition to printing them, you guys do some design work as well, right? Like if they want a new logo for a new project, they might ask you to design it.
Yeah, that's part of the bigger umbrella of the department I'm in here, and innovation and performance, that being communication technology. So we handle a lot of the service requests for not only, print related design stuff, but also we perform all the requests for web design as well.
As you know, I too work in the Department of Innovation and Performance, and I can never figure out whether I'm particularly innovative or I can't gauge my performance. Do you feel like you're more of an innovator or a performer?
A little bit of both, but I definitely would fall more towards being an innovator, because I like to see how things are working, and if there's any way to improve it, I like to get myself involved and try to find a new creative solution.
Oh, you're a process improvement guy, eh?
That's right.
Is it too soon to have improved anything so far, since you've only been there for 6 weeks or so?
It's not too soon. I would say that we've definitely increased the color consistency between our different copiers here. That was just really a simple thing of setting up certain software that hadn't been set up here in the shop to make sure that all the colors are looking consistent across different media.
So one printer the color might not be as bold or crisp.
Right, and it can vary between different papers too.
Do you have a special favorite kind of paper you like to print on, or just depend on the project?
I would say, yeah, I like thick paper. I like cardstock. I like the stuff that it has a real tactile feeling to it,
That's funny. I like that too. I've printed posters for shows I've done, and I always prefer it. There's some meat on the bone with those cardboard, what's it called?
Cardstock.
Cardstock, that's right.
Yeah, and it lasts longer too. You can hang it up in your house and it'll, not start curling at the corners and stuff.
So where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Coshocton, Ohio. It's probably about 2.5 hours west of here. So halfway between here and Columbus, Ohio. Just middle of nowhere, farm country. A lot of Amish people.
Is that right? What have you learned from the Amish people?
They got good cheese.
Awesome. So you've learned that source of cheese.
Yeah, I learned how to ride a horse from an Amish person, so that was cool.
Did you still ride horses these days, or it doesn't happen much now that you live in the city?
I'm terrified of horses now.
Is that right?
Yeah, I almost got kicked by one when I was a kid. So ever since those hooves came flying at my face, I was like, just kind of, I mean, I would ride one again, but you know, because I like to conquer my fears, but it's not something I look forward to, being next to a horse or something.
So you probably won't honor that time honored expression, getting back on the horse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes. I appreciate that one.
But you do like to conquer your fears. Interesting. I mean, don't we all? I guess,
Yeah.
or not? I tend to
No,
just
I
run.
mean, there should, I think everyone should have a healthy desire to do the things that they're scared most of.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I used to want to rob a bank when I was a kid, but I'm still tending to say.
Well, maybe not the ones that are illegal.
Okay, thank you for that guideline. So you ended up in Pittsburgh because you went to the now defunct Art Institute, correct?
Yes, yeah. Sadly, I did go to that institution. Met a lot of good people there. That's kind of the thing that I don't regret about the whole situation, was meeting a lot of creative, talented, you know, just very driven people.
Were you sad when the Art Institute folded? Because that would be weird for me not to have an alma mater anymore. You know what I mean? Like, boom, it's gone.
Yeah, like one part of it made me sad, thinking, well, it's going to be harder for me to convince an employer that I have a college education. The other part of it was sort of relief, knowing that, you know, maybe some karma had happened, that, you know, a for-profit educational institution shouldn't really exist.
Interesting. All right. Well, it sounds like you've made your peace with it at any rate.
Yeah,
and then you
got to forgive at some point.
And you worked for the private sector prior to this city job as well, correct?
Yeah, I spent probably, I don't know, going on, I would say 7 to 8 years in the private sector. Yeah, working for different commercial printing enterprises, as well as just retail and just service industry, restaurant kind of stuff.
And our last guest was one of the sign painters who works out of the Strip District. And he mentioned enjoying the freedom to sometimes design stuff. I imagine your design background, in addition to your print background, is coming really handy.
Yeah, definitely. I've done a lot of different printing projects in the past, mostly with self-published comic books and poetry books, stuff like that.
I'm sorry. So yourself, you write the comic books and the characters and the dialogue, and then you print them?
Yeah, not like really extensive, huge graphic novel kind of stories, but I would, you know, do my own little comics, and then I had some friends who did comics and poetry and stuff. So we would put it all together into like a little anthology, and that was pretty early on after college. And it was just a good way to get out some creative energy and sort of play with my friends. So.
But you're through with comics now?
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of comics anymore, or self-publishing. Yeah, mostly it's just freelance design for posters or album art, stuff like that.
So were you surprised by at least what I consider to be a fact that most city workers are dedicated, motivated, you know, hardworking people? Or did you expect a lot of people with their feet up on the desk, smoking cigarettes, et cetera?
Yeah, I mean, so I wouldn't say that I necessarily had that sort of image in my head when I came into the city. I generally like to see workers like the same, whether they're in the public or the private industry. I think that there are main differences, obviously, but I think that people's work ethic, it pretty much translates whether you're doing something for a company or you're doing something for the taxpayers.
How have you been coping with COVID?
It was a rough year. 2020 was. I got laid off from my my job that I was at for about 5 or 6 years, and I just did any kind of work that I could find. I did a lot of landscaping, and I did some farm work for an organic farm, and then just
involving pigs, right?
On a freelance too. So
you in fact interacted with pigs on an intimate level, did you not, during the farm work days?
Yeah, about 30 of them. Basically, it was just, you know, it's a lot of what you would deal with dogs, except, you know, they're about 200, 300 pounds. So they can easily knock you over or bite you or, but
And
they
did they knock you
they
over?
mostly just wanted to be fed.
Did they knock you over and bite you?
They never bit me, actually. They had bit the farmer since he had been working with them for so long, and that's bound to happen. But yeah, they knocked me over a couple of times.
But so you had to herd pigs.
Yeah, it's a whole process.
And how do you, what is that process?
It's a lot harder than herding, like, say, cattle. Because, I mean, with cattle, you just kind of generally get some dogs and round them up, but not so much with pigs. They're not intimidated by any other animal except for maybe humans. And so it's a lot of slapping them on the butt.
You miss those days, Andy?
Not really. No, it's not really fun to be up at 6 a.m, freezing rain, and just getting knocked in the mud. It's not exactly the best start to your day.
And did it also smell bad, or am I wrong? And pigs are pretty clean animals.
Oh no. I mean, they may be clean for themselves in the way their skin is, and they get clean by bathing in the mud and stuff, but not for a human. It's disgusting.
Maybe there's a comic book involving you and the pigs.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just tossing out ideas, just brainstorming over here.
I like that idea. Yeah.
All right. Would you recommend a career in the government?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you're the kind of person who, wants to do things that are going to impact even just the smallest little details, and affect change for city government, it's a no-brainer, and if you have that desire within you to just put in the work and be helpful, I think then it's a good career choice.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I love to garden, and I love to go hiking as much as I can.
All right, Andy, any final words for the humans out there who, for some reason, watch City Channel Pittsburgh?
Yeah, stay tuned, and maybe your favorite city worker will show up one day.
Excellent. Thank you so much for doing the program.
No problem.
And that is it, this edition of City Talk. We will see you next time.
All right. Thanks for having me.